Sometimes, when you see a reflection of who you are, when you see the evil within yourself, you'll stop right away. Um, so, today, what I kind of want to talk about is to show what Canadians are all about. Now, um, bottled intentions, if you Google it, there's 9 million hits. I haven't really looked at whether they're positive or negative type posting, but we'll find out how positive it is if you go in and check and see what people are saying about bottled intentions. I would suspect that because it was generated from a Dragon's Den presentation and them using me to advertise their show as the nut bar of the season. I'm pretty sure that 9 million had a lot to do um, with the presentation on the Dragon's Den. Couldn't have been done without them. And if it's negative, then that means that show, that broadcast, everything dealing with that show would have a negative influence. It would influence all of society to view bottled intentions based on the intentions that are coming from the Dragon's Den. So if they put a lot of positive intentions out into the world, then we would, if it's popular, it would be a positive conversation. If it's negative, what's making people talk and talk and talk about something so negative to the point of 9 million people? 9 million means that phrase had to be used, and either people are saying good things about it or they're saying bad things about it. And is the glass half full or half empty? And who influenced what? Were you influenced to see this concept of being negative or influenced to see that this concept is positive? And if it's generated from source of Dragon's Den, so it's like, okay, first of all, if I had a really brilliant idea, it's only a brilliant idea if I can present well, or if a show is designed to be edited and the energy coming at me was designed that I couldn't get a word in edgewise to present anyway. I would, if I was said, okay, you've got 3 minutes to present an idea, then I would have known I had 3 minutes. But if I was told you're going to be interrupted after 30 seconds, um, what was the purpose of presenting anything? This was not my presentation. This was me answering their questions that they didn't want the answers to anyways. Because if they were wanting answers, they wouldn't be asking questions. They'd be letting me speak. But all they wanted was the three phrase answer that's completely incomplete so they can edit it and make it sound like, oh, this is a completely nut bar idea, because they wanted to view whatever I got to say. I've got to associate this with this being the most nut bar idea that all Canadians will associate, that if you follow this path, this is the dumbest idea anybody would ever go to. I mean, they literally said that. At the same time, they said that the world was flat and we're going to make sure the world is flat, as they call themselves dragons. So, um, if that 9 million conversations going on are negative, then that means that 9 million people are on the side of the dragons. So do the math. When you see the world falling apart, there's 9 million people trying to tear down one idea. which you can see that game playing out all the time, that there's always they're bullies. um, First of all, you got to see who I am. I'm somebody that was dealing with an awful lot of abuse. I'm someone that had to stay in women's shelters. I'm someone that's healing from the experience of abuse. And because I went into the problem, understand the causes of it, I kind of see that it's a broken system and want to offer some help so the next person suffering from abuse won't have to go through what I went through. So that kids in the future won't have to go hungry like my kids went hungry. So while I'm presenting to the Dragon's Den, I'm presenting a concept that improves how we actually solve abuse in Canada. But the Dragon's Den do not want to solve abuse in Canada. They do not want to stop the torture that women and children have to go through. Um, and you can see what it is they do is I was somebody that they knew and agree with that had gone through an awful lot of abuse. So the way to treat somebody that has gone through extreme abuse to the point where they're so crushed they're on a welfare system. It is harmed them physically that they're on a welfare system permanently and emotionally. And these dragons, for me trying, I mean, just for you even trying to be rewarded with trying, you get called globally a nutbar and sign legal documents that I couldn't defend myself in any way, shape, or form. I could not talk for, I think in the contract was 3 or 4 years. I'm not allowed to defend or say anything about how that show was highly manipulated to be presented so it appears as negative as it does. You didn't hear shit that I was saying. You heard what they wanted you to see that presented well. But think about what it is that they are disagreeing with. I think that if you've gone through an awful lot of abuse, if you've gone through friggin' hell, the first thing your brain's going to do is suffer from it. You need to heal from what it is you're suffering. You're going to feel like you're not deserving. If you're on a welfare system, you're going to feel like you're not deserving. So you're not going to be able to take opportunities, see opportunities in the world. If you don't think you're deserving of it, you're going to see that the world is always going to do you harm all the time. So it's like, why bother trying? If all you see is the bad in everything, you're not going to be able to take advantage of bad unless you turn into a criminal. So basically, these dragons, by not wanting you to feel that you are a prosperous being, that you are an abundant being. This is something bad for any woman that's dealing with abuse. Any child that's being abused should never, ever, ever feel those intentions within, because that's all I'm suggesting is that, hey, I needed something to interrupt my thoughts because I was thinking about all that bad shit and I needed something. I was drinking water every day, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to use my water to interrupt my thoughts and think, you know what? Damn it, I am a prosperous being. I am abundant. And damn it, I'm going to feel it because I know at the end of the day, when I feel like something, I can take advantage of something. I can improve something. I can attract something. So damn it, I know damn well that if I drink that water, it's going to work on me eventually. Then, these dragons don't want women and children to feel that they have the perfect alignment with people that can actually help them out. No, they want people to constantly to be aligned with everybody that won't help out. And when I was in these women's shelters and offered to volunteer, now that I know better, I would only do it under the condition that I would tell women the truth because I was lied to in these women's shelters. And I was told that if I did that, they would lose their funding. Who's funding? The corporation world, the government, People like these dragons are who funds the types of nonprofits that are out there. And what I was going to the Dragon's Den is saying, hey, those women's shelters are, not really productive in any way, shape, or form. They're sustaining all of the problems. I think we've got a better way of handling this problem, but they don't want this problem solved. Um, they want you to be aligned with everything that doesn't work, where I'm saying that be in alignment with everything that does work and feel that and use your intuition and start developing that just by putting in the suggestion that there is a negative alignment and a positive. But when you're lined up with humanity, then you're in the right path. But when you're lined up with corporate structure in any way, shape, or form, you're going down a path that's going to lie to you. Any way, shape, or form. So if these dragons were actually funding something that solved a problem, then we'd know that they aren't really dragons. But they are the cause of every problem that's going on globally. Follow the guys that are going to own Boardwalk and Park Place. Why is Canada's economic system not near protest or collapse yet? Follow the money. Canada is abusive within its own country, and then its idea of doing well to its own people is doing peace out there. Its concept of peace out there. These are people that say they think they're giving you good advice. It's called tough love to them. By calling me a nut bar and saying that I've got the craziest idea on the planet, and anybody that would help me or get involved with me would be the dumbest people on the planet, and they are the smartest people on the planet. So them putting that suggestion out there means, okay, here I am, somebody that, okay, I've been beaten the crap out of emotionally and physically. Now, Canada, because trust me, the government had people working on that show. Um, that was definitely Revenue Canada was highly involved in that show for even the investment of business. There was a lot of corporate structure. There was a lot of government agencies that were involved with the Dragon's Den. And a lot of these problems are perpetuated by people like that, how they end up doing everything. First of all, you got to understand the corporate structure. How could I say the corporate structure is really? Can I point the finger at them? Yes, I can at every time. You just got to see the patterns and know where to do the research. And if you know how to do the research, because they're showing that pattern once, they'll show that pattern all of the time. Now, when I was trying to feed my children, not only was my ex able to go to court 24/7, meaning that I had to take time off work to fight every friggin' battle that he initiates. I'm out work and children live with me and I'm trying to feed them. So I've got to work night and day trying to, work overtime, trying to work minimum wage to feed the amount of children that I have. Taking time off work when, if I even know I'm supposed to go to court, is like no human can live by that schedule. And it was an oil field related company he worked for, Global Safety, that funded his legal bills. So it was a corporate oil field related business that funded a perpetual legal battle that me, a struggling mother that was working 24/7 minimum wage, who can't pay the bills, had to also have to battle the equivalent of a corporate structure just to get child support. And trust me, they're so powerful that I owed child support to the deadbeat. So it was very much that if everything was equal, it'd be me fighting my ex-husband. That's one thing, but it wasn't. It was me fighting that corporate structure and who's in control of the legal structure. The legal aid, the guy that has to, say my talk, well, it's the government. So the government and the corporate structure both did everything possible to ensure that I was experiencing abuse, because I mean, the guy wasn't just after um, not paying his child support. If this guy could kill and get away with it, he would. And it's structured. You see people killing people all the time. It's structured, so half the time you don't even hear about it. And can you go to media? Media says this is so common it's not news. So you'll never hear it in the news. When the news escalates to the point where it's so common it's not news, then that's saying something about your culture. That's saying something about who you are. I'm going to continue.